Excerpt from my book, Woman Stop the Madness. So I'm just going to be talking about emotional roller coasters today and how much of a displeasure they are for other people to ride. I'm going to talk to us about, a little bit about how men are on an even keel as it comes to their emotions, but we as women, we fluctuate over the course of a month. Now, we all know that this is scientific. We as women, we go through things, There's times in the month where our estrogen is higher. There's times in the month where our testosterone or our progesterone is a little bit higher. There's times in the month where our serotonin, which is our feel-good hormone, is totally depleted. And these are the times where we might be a little short-tempered. Things might bother us a little bit more. We might be a little more hot under the collar. Things might frustrate us easier. We might have, like a lack of patience more so than we would on a regular week. And men don't understand this. All they know is that, oh my God, my loving wife, who was such a beautiful, loving woman last week, is totally distasteful this week. So I'm here to tell us that this is scientific, but it is not okay for us to just be a certain way just because we're going through our emotional state. And there's a lot of times that it's not even PMS, and we're just more emotional as a rule of thumb. This is a part of our makeup. It is who we are, but we need to use these emotions and these feelings to be a catalyst for manifestation, as opposed to using them and exerting them negatively into the lives of others that are around us. We all know that person that's when they're PMSing, well, listen, I'm PMSing and he needs to just understand that things are just not the same when I'm PMSing. Yeah, it's not the same. But you know what? Guess what? He doesn't have to stay around for it either. And the very thing that you want from him, which is affection and love and understanding, he's not going to be able to give it to you because he doesn't even know what to give you. So it's up to us to kind of rein ourselves in when we're feeling those lows. Another point that I wanted to bring up is that feelings and emotions are slightly different. Feelings are your psychological state of being. They are your mental state of being. They are expressed as fear, sorrow, grief, happiness, joy, disappointment, hurt, anger, elation, euphoria, happiness. So we are supposed to feel those feelings. We're going to feel those feelings. We're human. Emotions are the agitations of your feelings. Emotions give you a physiological difference. They are the ones that make your stomach drop. They're the ones that make you feel hot. They're the ones that make you feel so happy you feel like you're going to pass out. These are emotions. Now, so for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to break this down and just say that feelings are an inner work and emotions are an outer work. Feelings are what you feel on the inside, and emotions are how you act them out on the outside. So most men, they don't understand how to deal with our emotions. They don't understand that how we were totally okay with something they did last week, and this week we fly off the handle because they did it. They don't understand that. So it's up to us to reel that in and be emotionally mature. Have emotional integrity. When something is bothering you, talk about it. Don't act about it. Talk about it. It's not okay to walk around with an attitude. It's not okay to walk around and be disrespectful or demeaning just because you feel a certain way. It's okay to feel disappointed. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be sad. All of these are okay. As a matter of fact, I want you to feel them, because when you feel them, you can process them. And once you process them, you can actually talk maturely about them. So that's okay. You don't want to hold your feelings in. That's not in any way, shape, or form what I'm telling you to do. What I'm telling you to do is to not act out negatively as a result of those feelings. They don't feel like riding this wave with you. It's no fun for them. Again, if I see someone who does not have control over their emotions and they're all over the place, and 1 minute they're nice to people, the next minute they're acting a little crazy, that is not a ride that I'm standing in line to get on. I'm sorry. It doesn't look like fun. It doesn't look like I'm going to have a good time. You know what? I'm going to step out of this line. I'm going to go elsewhere. And that's how most men feel as well. So you have to kind of learn how to hone this in and just be mature about how you're feeling. This is not a roller coaster that is going to last a long time. It's not a roller coaster that people are going to be in line for, and it is definitely not a roller coaster that people want to ride more than once. Once people are around you and realize that you don't have control over your emotions or how you act as a result of your feelings, they may not be around you. And this is going to cause you to have circumstances that change for you. This is going to cause and effect for you, because at the end of the day, you can be upset at work and then fly off the handle. And guess what? Next scene, you don't have a job. You could be at home and fly off the handle. And next scene, your husband doesn't come home that night. You can have an emotional moment with your family member, and next thing you and your family member are estranged when you once were so close. You know, if you value the friendships around you, if you value the relationships you have with the people around you, if you value the relationship you have with your mate, you will treat it as such and you'll respect it as such. Again, my job, I know that men have their issues and they have things that they need to learn about women. But again, this work is about women and how they relate to the men in your life. So here's the thing. I'm going to give you a couple of examples of how men will begin to act out when they see you in this emotional roller coaster. And again, I'm not going to give women any excuse for this. I'm not going to say, you know, oh, it's okay. You know, you could do it. I mean, I will say it. You can do it. You can do whatever you want to do. But don't expect your man to stay around for it. And don't expect that there will not be consequences because of this behavior. So I'm going to give you some examples. And I will tell you that majority of men will respond the same to these actions. So I'm just going to give you an overall synopsis of what men may do. The first one is walking away. And although this may seem extreme, if a man does not know how to handle what's going on with you emotionally, he may leave the scene altogether to create some space. Now, you're going to notice that I'm looking actually at my book. I'm talking from myself, but I do want to look at it as reference I don't want to miss any important points. That's the bottom line. So he may leave the scene altogether to create some space. If you do not live together, he may leave the house for a while to give you some time to cool off. This is if you guys live together. And if you don't live together, he may take a few days off from you. You ever notice when you're in a relationship and something happens and then you know it's like, oh my God, he's not really answering the phone like that for me no more. He's not responding to my texts as readily. Or, you know, this could be because you have done something in your emotional state that you don't even realize that you did, but he's just not around for it. This is not the time to expect to get affection from him. Again, this is not the time. He's not going to give it because you're sending mixed signals. And he will not know what to make of it. It's not okay to 1 minute act crazy. No. You are this and you're that. And yelling. And the next scene is like, come here and love me. No, come please, give me a hug. I'm just going through. I just want you to wrap your arms around me. He's like, she's crazy. So that's not the time that he's going to give you affection, honey. I'm just letting you know. I know that affection is usually what we need to feel better, but a man is oblivious to this need and will seek to create safety for you and him. Because when you're acting crazy, they want to have a response from it. They want to do something, but they don't know what your response is going to be. So just to create safety for everybody concerned, they usually create space between the two of you. Walking away, though, will usually in turn make a woman more upset. And then you feel as though you're not being heard. But it is unfair to ask someone to hear you out when you're acting irate and possibly disrespectful based on what you're feeling at the moment. Respect his need for space from you at that point. Once you get all crazy and riled up, respect his need for space. Do not follow him around because you know how we do. A man starts to walk away from us. Where are you going? Don't walk away from me. You better turn around when I'm talking to you. Respect his need for space and let him go. Do not keep calling his phone. Don't. It's going to make you look crazier than you already look to him. So don't keep calling his phone trying to get him to, you know, back down or get him to come back around. It's not going to work. Just give him the space that he needs. He'll come back after the cloud has moved past. But whatever you do, don't attempt to chase him once he has decided to walk away. By chase, I mean literally chasing him, because you know some women get crazy and they'll literally chase you. Calling his phone 105 times, trying to force him to talk to you. Texting those long, drawn-out 5-page texts that ding, the text just keeps going off. He's ignoring them. He's not reading them. He doesn't know what you're talking about. So just give him his space. Respect his need for space because it already is only going to make you look crazier. All right? 2, they might seek an outlet. And this, again, this is not after one just emotional breakdown. I'm talking about this is who you are as a person. Emotional roller coaster. This is what you take people through all the time. This is the person that I'm talking to. Not the person that had one emotional breakdown. You know, your husband should be there for you for that. But I'm talking about the person that just thinks it's okay to act crazy, be wild, be disrespectful, act up, demean somebody on a regular basis. The second thing that he may seek to do is to seek an outlet. It doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to cheat or have an affair. It simply means that they're going to find ways to release steam and tension. This may constitute an affair. Affair may come out of it, but not always. This is where men will take the time to do anything else besides hanging out with you. They'll play ball with friends, go to the gym, spend countless hours at work, throw themselves into business ventures, hang out at bars, or anything else that actually just does not include you. I know it's sad, right? But that's what it is. They're going to do anything in their power that just doesn't include you or spending time with you. This will create the illusion that they are having an affair, which was ultimately going to cause your emotional roller coaster to act a little bit crazier or even move faster. This is not conscious on their part, and they are not trying to make it look as though they are cheating on you. They are just creating distance between the two of you. That's all. The next thing that they'll do, it might be complete shutdown. This, I can assure you, is not where you want to be. This comes usually after he has rode this ride far too many times. He's just tired. He doesn't feel like dealing with it anymore. Shutdown is a term that I gained from my husband because he does it all the time. Shutdown is when they completely shut you out. And this can be a full-on breakup, or it means that he could just shut you down. You're still very much in a relationship with him, but he's just completely checked out. You ever notice that? You know, you're involved with a man and he's there, but he's really not there. He's kind of like completely just oblivious. He's not understanding to your needs. He's not attending to your needs like he should. You know, he's not being as affectionate as he used to. This means that he's checked out and you're pretty much on shutdown. He may not end the relationship with you, but I can assure you that he is really not happy with you. He still loves you, and this is why he's actually not leaving. He does love you, and he's just waiting, wishing, wanting, hoping that you'll change. But in the end, this is the first step before a full-on breakup. He doesn't want to leave. He doesn't want to abandon you, but this is going to have to be his choice based on your actions toward him. This is not the place you want to be, because I can assure you it is very, very hard to get out of this position. You have to exhibit authentic, true, faithful, consistent change in order to move out of this position. The reason being is because the reason you're in this situation is because he's been on this ride too many times. He's heard your apologies. He's heard your, oh, I'm just PMSing. So at this point, once you get here, he's looking for true, authentic change. And the moment that you show him that you haven't, you'll default right back to this complete shutdown where he just checks out. It's not a fun position to be in. Trust me, I've been in it. I've been in it a couple times. Try to take control over your rage and emotions. Even if your mate does something to upset you, which more than likely they will because they're men, you have to find a way to handle it in a constructive manner. You want to handle it in a way that causes them to want to change their behavior as opposed to justifying why they did it in the first place. When you're talking to a man and you're being disrespectful, listen, I don't like the way you did this, and you don't tell my son that. Listen, all that's going to do is cause him to be like, see, this is why I do this in the first place, because you're crazy. What you want to do is handle it in a constructive manner so that it can cause him to think on this. Cause him to think about what he did to hurt you. But when you start acting crazy and irate and disrespectful, all it's going to do is cause him to say,